come and help somebody get their stuff?
You know what? Look, are we live?
We're live now.
Okay, so when you look at it just from the streets of born in Inglewood, and I've always been called to do stuff. Our little crew was called the Bogus Boys.
The Bogus Boys?
It's a lot of history.
Oh my goodness.
Is that LEP?
Well, they took after us.
They took it from y'all. The original.
I did 21 years in
so
prison. So
you gotta tell me the history.
Wow.
So y'all was the original Bogus Boys.
We started the BDG War stuff.
Whoa.
So that's us. That's why my organization ECCSC is about just giving back, creating true reformation and prison reform, social change. So we responsible for these young brothers drilling, killing, and sliding. So, with that being said, I'm doing my part to give back, and even in the last
Free Larry and the
Chief, it's happening. We working on it too, and I started the ex-cons for Trump. So
he did.
So
he upset and
I love to upset people.
He upset people. So for you guys that just showed up, this is Laura Miller. This is CNW Holiday Parties Podcast, interviewing and sitting down talking to some of our cover features and the coolest people that we know that we've invited to hang out with us in studio. We have two of our cover stories. We have Vic Mensa here, actor, rapper, entrepreneur, cool guy. We have Tyrone Muhammad here, disruptor, activist, Senate runner.
Yeah, 2026 United States
entrepreneur,
Senate,
and both of you guys have your hand in the cannabis industry also. So you have a lot of similarities, and we're deep diving as much as we can at a party what you guys got going on in the pipeline right now. So Tyrone, I remember you tagged me because he's very good at tagging Vic. He tags everyone and everything.
It's a skill.
And he tagged and he was asking for the enhancement and focus on a third party option.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that really quickly?
Well, you know what it is. Systemically, hook, line, and sinker, we as a people for over probably 60 years have supported the Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
But even in looking at our communities from the top, from lieutenant governor to county board president to mayor to police chief to state's attorneys to attorney general, we own and operate in all of those power positions, and our communities look the way they look.
Mm-hmm.
And the Republican hasn't served us in this state. So we have to have a third party option to even make them honest, to make them submit to what the voters want and to work in our behalf. So third party option is that, I think it's that barometer that makes those other two parties get in line, because there haven't been an option. We've been monopolized by two parties.
Yes, it is a Coke and Pepsi type of situation going on that has been in place historically since the inception of the United States, right? Or pre-United States, right? So I have to ask you, how could you... It seems like the third party option was your end goal in the first place.
Yes, that's
and
it.
Yet you were outside in front of Trump Tower and standing up with ex-cons for Trump, having a whole radio show about it. But the end goal was this.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. The Clinton 94 crime bill ushered mass incarceration of black men and boys across the country.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Biden was the main architect. And the Trump Second Step Act released thousands of black men from federal prisons, and now even to the point where I'm asking that he pardon when he get in office Larry Hoover and Jeff Ford. We working towards that initiative, and I got guys all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
From rappers to just activists all over the country that we're about to start a major move. Now we got Vic, so ain't no telling what we could do with that help.
Vic, you went viral. I was gonna say.
No, I don't fuck with Trump at all.
I was gonna say.
0%.
And that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was like, Vic, I don't know because I remember he went viral like 2 months ago, and it didn't sound like that was the result.
Honestly,
before Biden.
I do agree with that though. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, I'm not really I'm not a Democrat, nor am I a Republican. I vehemently oppose Trump because Trump has the explicitly storied history of racism. Now, Joe Biden is a racist too. Don't get it fucked up. Joe Biden actually, interestingly enough, has done more damage to the black community than Trump will probably ever be capable of with the crime bill. But the fact remains that, man, Trump was getting sued for racist practices in his hotels in the 70s.
In the 70s.
You know what I mean? Trump is up there talking about some, look at my African American over here parading niggas around like property. So, you know, he doing what he doing. He definitely is a vile racist. But you know, shit, I don't fuck with the Democrats either, to be honest.
I think it's really hard to be African American and be solid and certain about anything as it relates to politics. I believe it's really challenging to do that. And I think that Tyrone, I think both of you are also doing a good job of creating a space to say, you know what? I'm kind of not cool with this. And to say that out loud has been different than, you know, politically, because I hear far more people now saying that we should have a third party. There is a guy, and I'm going to shout his name out just because that's all he does on WVON. His name is Mike Burries, and every time he posts, he says, Solution is to switch to a third party. Everything, that's all he says. That's his answer for everything. But sometimes it's important to deep dive that. But it is the holiday season, and y'all are serious people. So what do y'all do in the holiday that is not so serious? Like, please take me out of this stupor of politics.
I'm not a serious guy. I'm just a jokester.
You're not a serious person.
No, man. Everything is funny to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. All this shit funny to me.
Oh, hilarious.
I'm serious because I've been shot at 100 times.
Really?
I've shot.
Wait, hold on.
I'm just telling you.
Is that an exaggeration, or you really been shot at 100 times?
Absolutely. I've shot more times than I can count on my fingers. So when I look at the lifestyle that we didn't choose, we don't produce extended clips, 100-round drums, cocaine, heroin, and even weed. And now that 99% of all dispensaries are owned by white men, while we spent 60 years of mass incarceration over cannabis. So I'm serious because I watch people use culture vultures, use us and take what has violated us. And then they profit off of prisons, and they profit off of Black death as a hustle. And then I see these little homies drilling, killing, and sliding that I deal with every day. I mentor over 80 of them, right? And to see that with all the wealth and then the migrant issue with all the billions spent, little homie and them, all they have is graveyards and prisons. See, I've been to 39 funerals this year.
Yikes.
And none of them was over 25.
So
that's serious for me. And
it is serious.
And on that note, I've had to identify 4 or 5 bodies from the morgue because the mothers asked me to do that. And they give me a picture to see if that's their son's face all shot up and bodies all splashed. With these drums and these switches they using out here. So it's serious to me. And like Big said, it made that work. He know of it, but that space is my space, and I chose that space to be intervening in violence. So it's kind of different for me every day.
I would like to not insult either of you with this question, because y'all are Black men. So you know, depending on what type of Black man it is, it might be offensive. You just laid out so much trauma.
Yeah.
Do you have a therapist?
That's for me?
Yes.
Okay. No. I mean, my work is my therapy.
Okay.
Every time, you know, I save a young man from prison, and every time I keep a mother from crying, from burying her son, that's my therapy. No therapist has ever been through what I've been through. So how he gonna give me some guidance on how to deal with my trauma? Impossible. He never lived my life. He never been through what I've been through. He don't experience what I experienced. So what are you gonna tell me or her gonna tell me
If
about
I found
what I'm
you
doing?
a former ex-con that's been to prison for at least 15 years that was a therapist,
But
would you see that person?
Don't you think there's like collective experiences in the human experience that although somebody hasn't experienced your life particularly because it's been a specific brand of intense trauma, though somebody who is clinically trained to deal with trauma may be able to help you address the manifestations of your experiences through your current emotions and your processing. Man, it's like somebody like you that needs a therapist more than anybody. You know what I mean? And it's not it's the guys though that experience the most traumatic events in life. All my guys has been shot, stabbed, shot people, killed people. None of them got therapists or whatever speak to a therapist because it's just stigmatized in our community. But we experience the most trauma. White people, everybody, the dog got a therapist. You know what I mean? Because the shit
they have yoga
because it's scientifically it's just scientifically proven to help.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like I think it'll help, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
I listen.
Not to say that your work isn't.
No, not
you
that.
Get it out with your hands. You get it out through your work too. But also like
the minister
is everybody.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you that maybe I haven't met one that I would talk about nothing. Like
I know an app that my guy started that's like finding therapists for Black people. It's called Dara, and I used it to help Melanie and I find a therapist. And we found like a fucking amazing Black woman who was just left being like the chair of a department at Northwestern, like a PhD type, like super qualified, really dope, all through this app. And you could go into the app and you can like check the specific boxes
that you want,
of what kind of stuff, you know what I mean? What kind of things it is that you want to deal with, be it like, childhood trauma, violence, you know what I'm saying? Prison, like, etc. Things like that, PTSD, you know what I'm saying? You want a Black person, you want a man, you want a woman, whatever it is. Like, you can put in all these criterion, and then it will give you suggestions on, oh, here's this person. You might check out their resume, not for me. Here's this person, might check out their resume, not for me. Oh, here's this person that meets my criterion, they in my area. Let me try it out. You know what I mean? And like, it's a way better experience of finding a therapist. Because the worst part is when you just trying to like randomly.
And you're just looking at a picture.
No, I like
then you're just gonna get turned away from
that.
It.
Because that's something. I'm gonna say honestly, even if I didn't use it, I can see giving that to my little homies.
For some of your people.
No, I can actually see.
But then also think of it this way, because a lot of times
it's covered through insurance.
For sure, a lot of times people struggle with the non-obvious thing, right? You could have understood and unpacked and worked through holy work, scripture, prayer, etc., all of your hard trauma, but you might still have an issue with intimacy.
Oh, man.
You might still have some hesitation as it relates to relationships, right? There are so many things that we navigate through as people that we haven't always been educated about. This is not party conversation, but there are other options, right?
I need to keep some of my hard line because I'd like to choke certain people. So
please don't choke anybody. Please don't choke anybody and text me and say, sorry, Laura, I couldn't answer. I was in jail. Please stop.